Hello, chat. Welcome. Welcome. Day 14, technically. But this is it for Kouri Richins. This is it. Closing arguments. They're all done now. The jury's got the case, but I haven't seen them yet. Been in fucking trial all day, doing real lawyer shit, which is always fun. When something like this is happening. You wish you could go see it, but you can't. Yeah, this is it, Kouri Bros. Yes. And Brad, yes, you are correct. It is, I woke up this morning, it was like 55 degrees outside, and now it's snowing like a son of a bitch. It's been a hell of a day. So, Afix, guys, once again, please tell Afix thank you. He leveled off everything and got us all set here. So we're ready to go, captioned out and everything. Shredder S 07. Oh wow, I could see my wing. I gotta trim that for tomorrow. 07 for 199. That's our real 199. Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers. No. You aren't the 199. I'm the 199. Calling it now. 2-word verdict. Ooh. Well, I mean, are you saying not guilty or hung jury? Because that's a 2-word verdict too, technically. Although technically you could argue that means no verdict, but I don't know what you're getting at. So I get you, I hear you, I feel you. So we'll get started though. Afterman Trial's gonna eclipse this, yeah. This channel was not struck. That was the model channel which got struck. So once again, tell Katie thank you out there, chat. I'm just fucking with you, Katie. So, also there was a I hope Katie doesn't get this stream killed either. You've never had a White Claw? They're not bad. I don't know. They're not bad. I need to cover the Afterman trial. Is it televised? I don't think it's televised. Somebody tried to get TV access, and the court's like, no. So that's the problem. I don't think it's been televised. I would do it otherwise. Yeah, there's oh, there is a little bit of it online. Ooh. Okay, we do. We do have it. We do have some access to trial material. Okay. I'm going to have to dig around in this, but we will do that. Chat, we'll have to work on that after. We'll start this tomorrow. KCPO has Afroman coverage. Well, there we go. And there was stream today, yeah. So. All right, chat. But anyways, let's get started. Kouri Richins. I don't know, man. I don't know. This one, I could see the jury voting not guilty, but, kind of knowing what I know about everything, I kind of think she did it. So it's less than 2.5 hours if we speed it. Well, we'll see where we're at tonight. So let's get started, though. So here we go, guys. Here we go, chat. Uh-oh.
Prosecutor.
Okay. Chat, we are not going to listen to him read the jury instructions because I'm not going to want to kill myself. So I'm going to enjoy this lovely dinner 2.0 made. It's like spinach and spinach and beef and some peppers and oh yeah, it's very good.
And then we'll proceed with closing arguments. Jury instructions. Then we'll take a restroom break, and then we'll proceed with 4 pecuniary
people.
Okay, yeah, we're not. Okay. See, chat, you stick with me. You already skipped 45 minutes of this.
We sure did.
So, Because we're not wasting time on the jury instructions. We already listened to them and talked about them.
Mr. Bloodworth, would you like me to publish the slide deck now?
So,
Yes,
oh,
Your Honor, please.
sorry, chat. Wrong way around.
There you go.
Sorry, chat. Sorry, I forgot. This is not a Ricada stream. The trial is the center of attention.
See.
Sorry, chat.
Kouri Richins feels aggrieved and is thus an intensely ambitious person. She feels aggrieved because growing up, her father was an alcoholic who traded parenting for prison, and her mother a gambler who traded parenting for a casino. Kouri Richins thus worked for her aunt, cleaning the homes of rich people in Park City. She was not beneath those homeowners, but she felt that she was. This fueled in her an intense desire to appear privileged, affluent, and successful. She met Eric Richins. He was a successful business owner. He had money. They had a son, married, and had 2 more sons. Kouri Richins was on her way. But she was unhappy. She wanted to leave Eric Richins, but did not want to leave his money. Their prenuptial agreement meant that if she left him, she would also leave most of his money. So, Kouri Richins took $250,000 in equity out of Eric Richins' home without him knowing it, so that she could start her own business and earn enough money to leave Eric Richins. Kouri Richins is intensely ambitious. First with Eric's money and then other people's money.
Right, can make a joke and, but, Brutus said Caesar was ambitious too, keeping with the Ides of March.
Kouri Richins carefully curated the facade of a privileged, affluent, successful business owner. Behind the facade, however, Kouri Richins was incompetent. She took tremendous risk. She borrowed money by any means necessary at exorbitant rates. She gambled other people's money and lost. Her business was imploding. All the while, Kouri Richins was more interested in spending time with Josh Grossman than Eric. She dreamed of living in the Midway mansion with Josh, running it as an event center, farming and raising kids. Eric's kids. But she did not have the money to leave Eric or the money to salvage her business. Kouri Richins is an intensely ambitious person. She is a risk taker. There was a way forward. Eric had to die. As Judge Mrazek just instructed, there are 5 counts. And each count has a series of elements. The state has to prove each count and each element of each count beyond a reasonable doubt. That is our burden. In this closing, we will go count by count and then within each count, element by element, to show to you how the state has met its burden of proving aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, 2 counts of fraud, and forgery. That, again, is the reasonable doubt instruction that Judge Mrazek just read, and you will have back with you in the jury room. Judge Mrazek also read this instruction on what evidence is, and it's usually testimony and exhibits. To reiterate, what the attorneys say is not evidence. And as I asked you in opening, please focus on the evidence. Throughout this presentation, I generally use this format for slides. And so everybody understands where we are, the count, and then the element within the count is at the top in the red banner. We then quote some witness testimony and we cite it because it's the evidence that matters. So that you'll have the exhibits back with you when you deliberate. And you can reference them. Usually it's a transcript, page, line, number of the testimony. We also publish exhibits.
I like this crossed and
And usually we'll
collated,
have an exhibit number down here. If there's an exhibit,
argument.
whatever, 2-5,
What's up?
so you can reference it. Let's begin with the aggravated murder count. The evidence will prove that Kouri Richins was the person who committed the aggravated murder. The evidence will prove that she intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins, here by means of administering to him the illicit street drugs that she purchased from Carmen Lauber. She intended to kill him with the illicit street drugs. It doesn't matter what illicit street drugs. we'll get into it more. It doesn't matter if it was the propofol, it was the fentanyl that actually killed him, if it was oxy or some other illicit street drugs. She bought illicit street drugs to kill Eric Richins. That's what matters. That's murder. These two elements are just murder, right? If we hide this, that's a murder charge. Here we have an aggravated murder charge, and the state will prove two separate and distinct aggravators. The first is for pecuniary gain. This is a why aggravator. Why did Kouri Richins kill Eric? For money. The second aggravator is a how aggravator. How did she do it? Here, by the administration of any substance, here it happens to be fentanyl, but it could be any substance administered in a lethal amount. Either one of those aggravators are what transforms this case from a murder case to an aggravated murder case. So, first element, was it Kouri Richins? Yes. The state has proved that Kouri Richins had the means, here the fentanyl, the illicit street drugs, the motive here, money, and a fresh start at life, and the opportunity to kill Eric Richins. She was the only other adult in the home at the time. Nobody else killed Eric Richins. Now, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins by administering the illicit street drugs. The state will prove with all kinds of evidence, testimony, exhibits, patterns of her behavior, and what each of us know about humans, that she intended to cause Eric's death. She intended it probably as early as December the 7th, 2021, when she booked a trip for her and Josh Grossman to the Caribbean for April. People don't book that trip. Kouri Richins did not book that trip thinking Eric Richins would be alive in April. She booked it knowing he would not. In December, before Eric died, before Kouri Richins murdered Eric, she told her friend, Becky Lloyd, in many ways it would be better if he were dead. That proves she intended to cause his death. This was the New York life policy that covered the C&E buy-sell agreement. And on January the 1st, 2022, Kouri Richins changed the life insurance beneficiary on Cody's policy from Eric to her. The evidence proves that Kouri Richins didn't understand that was Cody's policy. When she figured it out, she went ahead and changed it back because she planned to murder Eric. She did not plan to murder Cody, but she planned to murder. Kouri Richins asked two people, Hayden Jeffs and Carmen Lauber, for the Michael Jackson drug. Kouri Richins was a suburban mother real estate agent. She does not know a lot about the illicit street drug world, but she knows Michael Jackson died from taking drugs. She doesn't know how to order street drugs, but she knows she wants the Michael Jackson stuff. She knows she wants it because it is lethal, it is fatal, it kills. And she wanted lethal, fatal death.
You're starting to lose me here, Bloodworth. You're starting to lose me here, man.
Kouri Richins is intensely ambitious. She wanted the perfect life, or at least the appearance of the perfect life. And for her, that meant Josh Grossman. But first, Eric had to go away.
Chat, I have to go grab something. I'm going to put this on speaker here. Hold
So
on.
with these transactions, when Carmen hit you up, what did she tell you?
She told me she had a friend. Didn't like.
What did she ask for? Blue specific, fentanyl specifically, or did she ask for oxygen? What did she ask for?
No. I think she might have for blue. I can't.
But you sold her everything, right?
Yeah, I told her what she knew what she was buying.
Okay, so it wasn't like she's asking for oxygen or something like that. She got the answer.
Right.
Okay, she knew that there was fentanyl.
At Kouri Richins' request, Carmen Lauber purchased illicit street drugs from Robert Crozier. It's those illicit street drugs that killed Eric Richins. It's those illicit street drugs that Kouri used to murder Eric Richins. And while there may be some question as to whether she specifically ordered fentanyl or she knew she was getting fentanyl, the evidence proves she at least knew it. She wanted fatal, lethal, illicit street drugs. And all the testimony from Carmen Lauber, Robert Crozier, digital forensics, we'll get into it, all confirm that Kouri Richins ordered and received illicit street drugs. and that those street drugs contained fentanyl. Illicit street drugs is all that matters. But you heard the testimony that despite confusion in what people were ordering, people were getting fentanyl. The fake M30s looked like the real, the fake M30s looked like the real M30s. Everything on the street in early 2022 had fentanyl. That's how we know that it was this purchase that ended up killing Eric. It's the fentanyl. We can trace the fentanyl. Next slide. The digital forensics corroborate Carmen Lauber's testimony that 5 days before Kouri Richins murdered Eric Richins, Carmen Lauber purchased for Kouri Richins fentanyl from Robert Crozier at the Maverick in Draper. The call detail records show an extraordinary amount of overlapping communication between Carmen Lauber, Kouri Richins, Carmen Lauber, Robert Crozier during that time. We, of course, don't have the communications. Carmen Lauber deleted them because they were evidence of a drug deal. Kouri Richins deleted them because they were evidence of a drug deal and a murder. Robert Crozier said he had lost his phone. But that's an extraordinary number of communications. We know that Kouri Richins, the evidence proved that Kouri Richins used a Moscow Mule and a shot to administer the fentanyl to Eric. She writes it in her orange notebook where she journals what happened the night she murdered Eric. It's a self-serving journal. We'll discuss that down the road. But she wrote Moscow Mule and a lemon drop shot. And that is consistent with all the toxicology. Again, in the notes that investigators recovered from the kitchen cabinet in Kouri Richins' home, she wrote Moscow Mules. Lemon water, vodka, and rum. She left out the main ingredient, which of course is the ginger beer. But there was ginger beer. We know that from the cock and bull that OME investigator Cam Sessions found in the trash can in the kitchen. It's interesting that Kouri Richins wrote vodka in parentheses rum. The evidence may show that the Moscow Mule she made that night was ginger beer and fentanyl. The lemon drop shot, maybe lemon and fentanyl. Notice that here she writes drink in bed. We'll come back to that in a minute. The cock and bull, as I mentioned, corroborates at least a Moscow Mule. And that we know the cause of death from the death certificate was fentanyl. The fentanyl and the illicit street drugs that Kouri Richins got from Carmen Lauber, who got from Robert Crozier. We know that Eric ingested the fentanyl from the Moscow Mule, the lemon drop shop, or both. Medical examiner Dr. Pamela Ulmer, toxicologist Brianna Peterson, chief medical examiner Dr. Eric Christensen, all testified that the 20,000 nanograms per milliliter of fentanyl, an extraordinary amount, in his stomach indicates oral ingestion. Indeed, Dr. Christensen not only testified to it, he told Kouri Richins that in their phone call that she recorded. Ms. Peterson's testimony, as well as Dr. Christensen, also proves that the fentanyl was illicit. Again, illicit coming from the street, illegal street drug, illicit fentanyl. And it was their testimony, right, was that there was not only fentanyl in the toxicology, but there was norfentanyl, which was a marker of an illicit fentanyl. There's also acetyl fentanyl as well. But it's the norfentanyl that is a marker of illicit fentanyl, which completely tracks with how Kouri Richins got the illicit street drugs. We also know that Kouri Richins intended to kill Eric Richins Because the toxicology contained quetiapine.
Your Honor, we've lost audio. Let's reset. My apologies.
Is an antipsychotic medication.
Last one. What is quetiapine? Quetiapine?
Quetiapine is an antipsychotic medication. It's called Seroquel.
Okay.
It's a prescription mental health medication that's prescribed for different things.
I gotcha.
The quetiapine in the toxicology for Eric Richins shows that Kouri Richins was involved because she was prescribed quetiapine. Now, this conversation that she recorded with Dr. Christensen is also very insightful. She pretends to not know what quetiapine is. It's her prescription. Of course she knows what it is. She pretends to not know what it is to cover up her involvement in putting the quetiapine inside Eric's body.
Oh, almost all of it's for sleeping.
She feigns the ignorance. She covers up her conduct in murdering Eric Richins in several ways throughout, beginning the night she murdered him, all the way through the walk the dog letter. In the orange notebook, she writes, she jumped out of bed, ran, turned on the lights, grabbed her phone, and called 911. The evidence proves that is not true. The evidence proves that when she returned to their bedroom, Kouri Richins says she was in Ashton's room. There's no evidence of that. But she returned from somewhere to their bedroom, unlocked her phone, put it on speaker. There's no call detail records showing a call at that time. But she may have called on Wi-Fi, somebody. That would not appear in the call detail records. It would appear on her phone if her phone had not been deleted.
Objection, Your Honor. These are facts that are
Overruled.
not.
Please have a seat.
She then unlocked her phone again at 3:08, 3:10, 3:15.
Oh, he just fucking smoked
3:19,
her out.
3:19. And then 15 minutes later, she called 911. That is not immediately called 911. Perhaps she was staging the scene during these 15 minutes. We're going to discuss the 911 call in a minute. This is a receiver activation. At 3:22:12, when we're in the 911 call, she's on receiver on her phone. The 911 call operator asks her, "Are you on speakerphone?" She says yes. No, she's on receiver. Before we play this, sorry. We're going to listen to the first part, actually most of the 911 call again. I ask that as you listen to it, you'll hear the first minute. The first minute is not the sound of a wife becoming a widow. To echo her friend Chelsea Barney, the first minute is the sound of a wife becoming a black widow. Listen to how Kouri Richins on the 911 call immediately presents, very soon after the call begins, presents her alibi narrative. Listen to how she tells the 911 dispatcher where she was when Eric died. She is distancing herself. Rather than, he's not breathing, he has no pulse, I have to figure out what to do, I need help. She's saying, hey, look, I was not there, I was in my son's room. That's her alibi. She's distancing herself from the time and the place that she murdered Eric. The 911 call operator asks her to perform CPR. Notice how she distances herself from that. No, I don't know how. No, he's too heavy. No, I can't move him. She is not immediately trying to revive him. We're going to run a clock from the time that the dispatcher asks her if she can start CPR to the time she purportedly starts it. It's 6 minutes. Listen, please, to the portion of the 911 call where the operator instructs Kouri Richins how to remove Eric from the bed. Listen how the dispatcher says, move to the side of the bed. Kouri Richins says she does. Remove the pillows, pull the arm, pull the leg, lift up the sheet, pull him off. If Kouri Richins is following the instructions of the 911 dispatcher, Eric Richins' body is on the floor on the side of the bed, not the foot of the bed where it was found. Listen also to her choice of language. She has dehumanized Eric Richins. When she is talking about removing Eric from the bed and she is protesting and she's saying she cannot, she is not saying, I can't move him. She is saying, I can't move it. Eric is no longer a him to him. She murdered Eric. Eric is an it. Finally, listen to when she says she is performing CPR and the phone is on speaker. The phone's not on speaker. Determine whether she's performing CPR. Okay, Scott.
I'm not breathing. Too cold. Okay, what's the address? 282 Willow Court. 282 Willow Court. Okay, what's a good phone number and give a good disconnector? 435 671 1987. Okay, it's gonna be in Francis. Okay, tell me exactly what happened. I don't know. I was sleeping with my kids. Okay, I can't understand you. I need you to take a deep breath. What's going on? I don't know. I was sleeping in with my kids. I just came in our bed, and I turned over, and he's just cold. He's just cold. Who's cold? My husband. I keep the light on. He's not breathing? He's not breathing? No. I need you to confirm it for me. Is he not breathing? No. Okay, can you do CPR? No, I don't know how. You don't know? I'm going to tell you how to. Are you willing to do CPR? Yeah. Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, can someone to get it now and tell me when you have it? No, it's not available. Okay. I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line and I'll tell you exactly what to do next, okay?
This
okay,
is
are you right by your husband right now? He's so pale. Okay, listen carefully.
I'm not vibing on this. This is not good.
You able to lay him on the floor or on the ground? I'm just thinking, I can't put him. I can't. You can do it. You need to calm down. We need to help him. I can guide you through CPR. Take a deep breath from me. I'm here with you. He doesn't have a pulse. He doesn't have a pulse. There's no pulse. Okay, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. We need to get him help. If you need to put me on speaker, put me on speaker. I'm going to guide you through CPR, okay? You've done that. Okay, I'm ready. You're ready? Okay, he's on the floor? He's on the bed. Okay, are you able by any chance to move him on the floor? I'm here with you. You're not able to move him to the floor. You're not able to move him to the floor? Just listen carefully. We just need to get him on the floor. Don't worry about hurting them. Is he still on the bed? Okay, if there's a sheet or a blanket under them, can you loosen it from the mattress? Yes. Okay, stand at the side of the bed closest to them and remove anything under their head. Okay. I need you to pull the sheets towards you and slide them off the bed. Don't worry about him falling. We just need to help him now. Okay. Tell me when he's on the floor. I can't move it. It's a dead weight. You're not. If he has sheets under, pull them to the floor. Don't worry about hurting him. Can you please send somebody? Okay, I have the ambulance that's on the way. Okay, there's another way to do this, okay? Grab their feet. Grab his feet. Okay. Slide them towards you until they're just off the bed. How old is your husband? 39. 39? Okay. Okay, were you able to put his feet off the bed? Instantly. Okay, now grab the arm closest to you and pull the rest of the way off the bed. Again, don't worry about the fall. We just need to help them now. I have the ambulance on the way. I just need you to do this, okay, so we can get the help for him. Okay. When they arrive, they'll take over. We just need to start CPR now. You are doing great, okay? I just need you to get on the floor. Okay, on the floor. You got him on the floor? Yeah. Okay, listen carefully, okay? Make sure that there's nothing under his head. Is he laying flat on his back? Yeah. Okay. Okay, she's listening carefully, and I'll tell you how to do chest compression, okay? Okay. Place the heel of your hand on the breastbone. This is in the center of the chest, right between the nipples. Put your other hand on top of that hand. Okay. Okay. Start pumping the chest hard and fast, at least twice per second, and 2 inches deep. Okay. Start counting out loud so I can count with you. Okay. We're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let me know when you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. Count out loud so I can hear you. I'm counting with you. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. If it's easier for you, am I on speaker? Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know the front door is open? No, it's locked. It's locked. I need you to go. Is there anybody else within the home, or is it just you? No. It's all my kids. Okay. Are one of them old enough to go and lock the door? Yeah, it's unlocked. It's unlocked now? Yeah, he's here. Okay.
Yeah. The protesting. It was part of the 6-minute delay in Kouri Richins performing CPR. I can't move it. It is just dead weight. Contrast that 911 call with her self-serving text message to her best friend, Chelsea Barney. I tried so fucking hard to save him, his lifeless body on my bedroom floor. I pumped so damn hard, so hard, screaming at him to come back to life, that I needed him. None of that happened. She's covering up her involvement in murdering Eric Richins.
Really? At this point?
Recall the alibi narrative at the beginning of the 911 call. Her letting the 911 operator and everyone know that she was not with Eric when he died. I was somewhere else. I was distant in place and time. When she calls her father-in-law, Eric's dad, Gene Richins, what does she say right at the outset? I was sleeping with Ashley and I came into the room. Gene, I wasn't there. Wasn't me. When Eric's sister, Katie, arrives, he wasn't breathing. I went to bed. I was in Ashton's room. He was having nightmares. I wasn't there. It was not me. Her alibi. Her cover-up.
I mean,
This is the written form that sheriff's deputies gave Kouri Richins early morning of March 4th to write out what happened. It says, describe in detail what you saw, know, or heard of the incident. Where does she start? Eric and I put the kids to bed around 9 p.m. We had a drink. In Kouri Richins' mind, that's when the incident started. It was the drink, and she knew it because she put the fentanyl in the drink. She didn't start with, I walked into the bedroom at 3 a.m. My husband was not breathing and cold. Describe the incident. The incident for her begins around 9:15 when she has the drink, because she knows that is, in fact, when the incident began. And then more of her self-serving alibi narrative. It wasn't me, I wasn't there. Before she gets into really what matters. Intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins. We know it was intentional because she planned the immediate reaction. When she spoke with Eric's sister, Katie, very shortly after medical examiners rolled Eric Richins' body out of his home for the last time, she told Katie that she was going to she was going to follow through with the purchase of the Midway mansion. She was going to sell the home that she was living in. And she had a plan for running Eric's business, C&E. The morning of Eric's death. She had those plans in place because she knew she was going to murder Eric. She had already thought about not only murdering him, but what I'm doing immediately after murdering him. Her plan with the Midway mansion is consistent with her dream of living there with Josh Grossman running it as an event center, farming, and raising Eric's kids. Her plan to sell the home she lived in proves that she had no idea that home was in a trust. And she couldn't sell it. Her plan on running Eric Richins' half of C&E shows that she did not understand the buy-sell agreement, the life insurance coverage on the buy-sell agreement, or that life insurance coverage went to the trust, not her. The morning Eric died, she had a plan on how she was spending Eric's money and didn't realize it was trust money. We know that Kouri Richins intended to kill Eric. The evidence proves that she intended to kill Eric, in part based on her conversation with Josh Grossman shortly after killing Eric. Kouri Richins asked Josh if he had ever killed anybody. Killed was her word. Not have you ever lost a loved one? How do you breathe? Not have you ever walked in and found a dead body unexpectedly? Not how do you respond to a tragic and horrible accident? It is have you killed? And then she asked how it made him feel. She asked that because she was working through her own feelings on killing and wanted Josh to help her work through those feelings. And never mind that that's a highly selfish question. She's worried about working through her feelings on killing. Never mind Josh Grossman's feelings on having had to have killed in service of his country. It was her feelings that mattered. The walk the dog letter. There's a lot to unpack in this. But right now, let's unpack the fact that Kouri Richins says Eric gets paid.
I mean, I guess this is playing for a jury, but for me, this is fucking awful.
Pills and fentanyl from Mexico. She goes on to talk and says, Eric finally told me and asked if Carmen could get him some pain pills and fentanyl from Mexico. Some refers back to pain pills in Mexico from fentanyl. Sorry, pain pills and fentanyl from Mexico. Kouri Richins knows 4 months after she's been arrested for Eric Richins' murder, a year and a half after she murdered him, she knows that she bought fentanyl and she has to explain it. And how does she explain it? A year and a half after murdering Eric Richins, she blames it on Eric. Oh, I bought it for Eric. That's the sum of the evidence. Her self-serving statement asking her brother to testify falsely that she brought it from Eric. For Eric. Year and a half after she murdered. Kouri Richins did not tell the 911 dispatcher, hey, I just bought some fentanyl for Eric. She didn't tell the paramedics, he might be dying from the fentanyl I just bought for him. He didn't tell the deputies that responded. He didn't tell Detective Woody. He didn't tell Dr. Ulmer, didn't tell Christensen, didn't tell her friends, didn't tell her family. All the off-ramps she had the opportunity to take to say, hey, I bought the fentanyl for Eric. She doesn't, because it did not happen. She did not concoct this story until a year and a half after she killed him. And it is a story. It's a fake story that she wants her brother to testify to. There are, of course, other inaccuracies. Kouri Richins in the Orange Notebook writes, self-servingly, when the EMT walked up to me and said he didn't make it, we did all we could, I lost it, I immediately ran to the bathroom. This is the video of when the EMT walked up to her.
To the left. She's like the kids because she's bad.
We'll stop it there. We could play it for several more minutes. She doesn't immediately or otherwise run to the bathroom and throw up. When people make up stories, they are inconsistent in the retelling. Here, in the orange notebook, Kouri Richins says they make the Moscow Mule and the lemon drop shot in the kitchen, and then they go to bed and brush their teeth. Here, they drink it in the bedroom, not the kitchen. Kouri Richins tells her attorney, it's on the right, she tells her attorney that Eric was on the phone when she went into Ashton's bedroom. But Eric Richins' phone activity tells a different story. Kouri Richins repeatedly said that she went into Ashton's bedroom 9:30, 9:45. Eric was off the phone before 9. In the orange notebook, Kouri Richins says that Eric was awake when she went into Ashton's room. In that rambling phone call with Bryce Knutson that Chelsea Barney recorded, she suggests that he was asleep because she says when she returned to the bedroom about 3 a.m., Eric was in the exact same position as he was when he fell asleep. I mean, she was there when he fell asleep, not in Ashton's room. Her story is inconsistent in the details. That proves that much of it is fake. We've read text messages throughout this presentation. We'll continue to publish some more for you to read. None of those text messages were recovered from Kouri Richins' phone. They were recovered from Eric's phone, Chelsea Barney's phone, Josh Grossman's phone, but not Kouri Richins' phone because they were deleted. That is part of her cover-up. When comparing the contents of the phone with few to no text messages, with the contents of the call detail records, with thousands of text messages, that's how we know they were deleted. When Detective Woody executed the first of the search warrants on April the 13th, 2022, and she informed Kouri Richins that toxicology showed that Eric died of fentanyl poisoning, Detective Woody seized her phone. On her phone that she got to replace the seized phone, on the phone that Kouri Richins got to replace the seized phone, these are the searches. What was Kouri Richins worried about? She was worried about the police recovering all her deleted text messages. Why? They're inculpatory. They would further prove that Kouri Richins bought drugs from Carmen Lauber to then murder Eric Richins. Her phone searches reveal what she was thinking. She's worried about being investigated. She's worried about having to take a lie detector test. She's worried about my office. She's worried about her seized electronics. Prison is on her mind. So is money. She's interested in the life insurance. We don't know precisely when these searches were conducted. It's just not in the digital data. We have the data we have. But we do know that she hasn't been paid out yet on life insurance. She started getting paid out in June of 2022. And this phone she got in April of 2022. So the inference is that these searches occurred between April and June of 2022. This one's the most insightful. If someone is poisoned, what does it go down on the death certificate as? She didn't search if someone accidentally ODs. She doesn't search if somebody is dead for unknown reasons. She searches if somebody is poisoned, because that is what happened. Now we have to prove that Kouri Richins intended to murder Eric Richins, which means we have to prove that Eric Richins did not commit suicide. Kouri herself says he didn't. No mental health concerns. But the other evidence proves it as well. Eric had every reason to live. first three of which are Carter, Ashton, and Weston. He was a phenomenal father. He protected his boys. He put his money in trust mostly for the benefit of them, to protect them. He was a protector. He's not leaving his boys. He was also planning for the future. He was a successful business person, and he and Cody had future business plans. He had future plans with his sister. They were planning family vacation to Disneyland. He was planning on buying a cabin in the Uintas with his father for the family. Every shred of evidence in this case proves that Eric did not commit suicide. This wasn't an accidental overdose. Eric Richins did not use drugs. He did not use illicit drugs. Set aside THC gummies. Kouri Richins said no, never, to Deputy Wynn and paramedic operative. These are people that it would have made sense to tell he used illicit drugs to in the moment as paramedic operative trying to save Eric's life. But no, she was honest. Nope, never. Same thing with Dr. Ulmer as they're reviewing the toxicology and trying to explain the fentanyl, right? Dr. Ulmer's like, no, there's this fentanyl, really can't explain it. Did he do illicit drugs? No, never. Grossman, she's honest with anybody. She's honest with Grossman. No, Eric did not use drugs. Her best friend, another person she's honest with. Nope. Life insurance company? No. Chief medical examiner? No. And every bit of evidence that came into this case, everyone who testified and knew Eric well, his friends, his family, no, Eric didn't use illicit drugs. Not even prescription drugs. Your Honor, this might be a good place to take a break.
Let's do it. Folks, one moment, just a friendly reminder. Don't talk about the case. Don't allow anybody to talk to you about it. Do not do anything with your devices during this break related to this case at all. We'll return at 10:20. Please rise for the jury.
Chat, hold on. Me and 2.0 are arguing about something.
Court's in recess until 10:20. Thank you. Please have a seat as you can. Please have a seat. Mr. Bloodworth, you can make sure that mic is still on, and please proceed. Very good.
Thank you, Your Honor. We call it the outset of closing when we were looking at the aggravated murder charge. I mentioned the first two elements are murder, and then we get into the two aggravators. So the closing up until now has been the murder charge.
All right, chat. Real quick, we have to talk about this real quick. Woku got a haircut today. Oh, and he's got his bandana on for St. Patrick's Day. Yes. Clydrick. He's got his Seamus O'Clydrick. And he smells so pretty. We're on. Okay. No, well, I'm good. Don't be trying to grab my wiener on camera. This is not the kill stream. We have standards, ma'am. I don't know. Just leave it. I'll pick it up. Oh, Jesus.
Break your toys.
They're not toys. They're models.
Same difference.
Those required a lot of work. The nerve of calling that shit a toy. Fucking women, am I right? I know. We give them the right to fucking vote, and then they belittle our hobbies. You can't. Fucking Obama's America. Fucking Obama's America. All right. He doesn't smell like pee. No, not anymore. He got a shave and a haircut. So, Looper says he's Irish. Yes, he is. So he's a good boy. Stream has gone to the dogs. Yes, it has. Real quick, there are a couple of things here real quick I wanted to address. Stephen Cooper says for $5, I have an appointment Friday to get the rest of my guns back that were recovered on Friday. I didn't know they recovered more, but that's awesome. Fuck yeah. Did they so have you got almost everything back now? So I know before you told me that you got a bunch back, but now there's even more. Like, that's good news. Good fucking news. And then Jasper the Cat Dude for $2. Thank you, Jasper Kitty. Says, Your Honor, this some bitch can't make a mule. Guilty. And then from here on, says based objection attempt. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't a good one, though, because judge is like, shut the fuck up. I don't know what they're going to argue here, but this is going to be a problem, so. We'll see what happens. I've not been impressed so far, but once again, I guess a jury might be impressed, but I have not been impressed. So let's get back to the show. But thank you for being here from here on.
We call it the outset of closing when we were looking at the aggravated murder charge. I mentioned the first two elements are murder, and then we get into the two aggravated.
Murder. It's murder.
So the closing up until now has been the murder charge. That is straight murder. But the state, of course, has charged aggravated murder. So now we'll talk about the two aggravators. The why aggravator, money motive, and the how aggravator, administering any substance in a lethal amount. You'll recall Brooke Carrington's testimony. And when she began her forensic accounting analysis, this drew her attention. The number of overdraft and non-sufficient funds transactions beginning in April. That jumped from 1 in September to 37 in October, beginning in October. That jumped from 1 in September to 37 in October to 77 in December. In Brooke Carrington's analysis was the beginning of the downward financial death spiral. Then Ms. Carrington analyzed the overall debt, and it showed a growing debt picture, nearing $8 million in debt when Kouri Richins closed on the Midway Mansion. All the while, she's not paying it off. She's barely sending her creditors any money. And it's never an increasing amount of money. It's flat. The payday loans particularly showed distress to Ms. Carrington. This isn't a traditional mortgage. This isn't even hard money lending. This is, give me money today, I'll give you money when you get paid at an extraordinary, exorbitant interest rate. And when Brooke Carrington solved this, she sees the line here go flat. Payday lenders would no longer lend to Kouri Richins. She was barely paying them off, or barely paying towards them. Kouri Richins lost money flipping homes. You heard Brooke Carrington testify about the extraordinary growth and unsustainable level of growth for even sophisticated business people. Kouri Richins is not a sophisticated business person. She didn't even understand fundamental accounting, fundamental tax reporting. Brooke Carrington plotted out the profitability analysis of each of Kouri Richins' home flips. Kouri Richins, when she bought a home, when you total up the home she bought and the loan she took out, she started her projects $2 million in the hole. When she was finished her projects, of money that Brooke could trace to expenses, she could only trace about half of it to expenses because Kouri Richins did not conduct normal accounting. Kouri Richins lost $469,000 on her home flips. But recall that Brooke Carrington testifies there's this other pot out there of $400,000 that I know she lost. I just can't trace it to a particular project. When you add those up, it's nearly $900,000 loss in flipping homes alone. Recall that Brooke Carrington said that does not count the foreclosures. While deliberating, you'll have this, and on the second page, you'll see all the foreclosures. She lost millions more in foreclosures. To include foreclosures on Chelsea Barney's home and the Midway Mansion. Kouri Richins would borrow money by any means necessary. 6 times she submitted inaccurate bank statements to lenders to get money. Those bank statements reflected her business account and balances in C&E's business account. This evidence proves the level of financial desperation that Kouri Richins was in late 2021 and early 2022. The next level of financial desperation is taking $45,000 of your best friend's hard-earned cash tips from waitressing, telling her that you are going to apply that as a down payment to a mortgage on her house where she lives with her partner and her children. And then diverting part of it to pay off Fund 5 merchant, a payday lender. And spending the remainder of it, as Brooke Harrington testified, on expenses to rehabilitate homes and servicing existing debt. Then telling your friend, your best friend, since middle school, that you applied the money for the loan, here's the deed, sign the deed, and then not filing it. You will see, if you review that Brooke Harrington's schedule that had all the property transactions, you'll see that not only did Kouri Richins not file the deed, she took out another loan on the house. That's the loan that was foreclosed on, that resulted in Chelsea Barney, her partner, and their children getting evicted and losing their life savings. That is the next level of financial desperation that Kouri Richins was in January 2022. There's the tax liabilities. In the grand scheme of the amount of debt, 150 grand in tax liabilities is de minimis, but they were on her mind. There's an interesting little nugget here. She underreported her expenses in flipping homes to her tax account, which resulted in her paying more taxes than she would have. One would think a sophisticated business person would think to limit their tax liability. That's not what interested Kouri Richins. What interested her was the appearance of success in business, the appearance of affluence. And by underreporting her expenses, it looked like she made more money than she did, and she appeared more successful than she was. Because she cared not about being successful, she cared about her facade. She cared about appearing successful. You'll recall that C&E distributed $36,000 to pay some of this $150,000 tax liability, which Kouri Richins then diverted to close on a home. And her tax liability was on her mind. 2 days before murdering Eric Richins, she spent over an hour and a half on the phone with the IRS. It was on her mind because if the IRS moved on her tax liabilities, Eric would find out. She had to fix it with the IRS before Eric found out. You're familiar. Kouri Richins needed cash immediately when she murdered Eric. Eric's long-term earning potential, immaterial. She wanted to close on the Midway Mansion. She had no money to refurbish it, to flip it right away, to run it as an event center. But she was going to close on it. She needed money now. Doesn't matter if Eric's going to earn a ton of money down the road. That does not help her now with the Midway Mansion. It does not help her now with servicing her existing debt. She needs money now because she's closing on the Midway Mansion on March the 4th. And when she closes on the Midway Mansion, it's worth $2.9 million. She's borrowing $3.2 million. None of it's her money. She's reaching into other people's pockets to get that money. Not only does she want money to purchase the Midway Mansion, she wants $87,000 for herself. She takes out $87,000 at closing. And how does she spend it? Servicing existing debt, and expenses for rehabs. She ultimately closed on the Midway mansion the day after she murdered Eric. There's an interesting thought here. Did she close on the Midway mansion in spite of murdering Eric? Or did she close on it because she murdered Eric? She hedged. She was supposed to close on the 4th. She didn't want to close until she knew Eric Richins was dead, because she knew she would have his money. She knew she could do something with the mansion. And that's why when everybody else signed on the 4th, or in advance of the 4th, she signed on the 5th. It's unconscionable that she closed in spite of his death. It's unconscionable that she closed because of his death. This is probably Kouri Richins' true plan for the Midway mansion. And if Eric had not put most of his assets into trust, it could have happened. Recall Brooke Harrington's testimony that after closing on the Midway mansion, Kouri Richins' liabilities were right about $8 million. And she was in the hole $1.6 million. Her net worth was negative $1.6 million when she murdered Eric. And that her business was in financial distress, her financial enterprise was collapsing, had been collapsing, and but for a significant infusion of cash and capital would continue to collapse. That significant infusion of cash and capital was supposed to be Eric Richins' money. You have a fortunate perspective during this case in that you get to observe the defendant. You get to observe Kouri Richins. And you observe her affect with when some witnesses testify, and you observe her affect change when other witnesses testify. You observe that when we played the 911 call during trial, her affect was flat, no emotion. You also observe that when Brooke Harrington testified about the financial distress of her business, she was exercised, because that testimony pierced her facade. It pierced her facade of being a successful, privileged, and affluent person. It was a narcissistic injury. She was bothered because the world saw that she is indeed not a success and not affluent. The bulk of Eric Richins' estate was in insurance coverage. Some of it got paid out to the trust, some of it got paid out to Kouri Richins. Kouri Richins knew this, knew that much of his estate was insurance coverage. And different than taking money from Eric's home equity, different than taking money from Eric's bank account, to take Eric's insurance money, Eric has to die. Now for the aggravator of administration of any substance in a lethal amount. The substance here happened to have been fentanyl, could have been any part of the illicit street drug that she bought, happened to be fentanyl that she administered in a Moscow Mule and a shot or a shot. But we know that's how she administered it, because it was in his belly. We know it was a lethal amount. The death certificate, fentanyl killed him. That's the substance, lethal amount. Can be as small as 3 nanograms per milliliter. And in this case, he had 15. 5 times what can be a lethal amount. That, by the way, is not an accident. That amount of fentanyl shows that Kouri Richins wanted Eric not only dead, but good and dead. Now, count 2, the aggravated murder. The elements are the same as count 1. The only difference is attempt. Attempt requires, as the court instructed, a substantial step. There's plenty of substantial steps, from ordering the drugs to making the Moscow Mule. Here, the aggravated murder count proves the attempted aggravated murder count, and vice versa. The commonalities between Kouri Richins' conduct are not coincidental. In each instance, she purchased drugs from Carmen Lauber a few days out. In each instance, she spoke with the IRS a few days out. Taxes were on her mind. Eric would find out if the IRS was after them. In each case, she had an immediate financial stressor. We just discussed closing on the Midway Mansion. If you look at Brooke Carrington's materials, she had a note due on Chelsea Barney's house shortly before February the 14th. She had an immediate financial stressor in each instance. In each instance, she administered the substance in a way that Eric would ingest it. On Valentine's Day, it was a sandwich. When she murdered him, it was a drink. Notice that she learned from her mistake. One can season a sandwich with fentanyl. Eric can eat it, tell something's wrong, set the fentanyl-laced sandwich aside. You throw a lemon drop shot back. By the time Eric would notice, the shot was in. It was in his body. Moscow Mule, just be good and sure. In each case, she leaves Eric alone. She distances herself from the dirty deed. She leaves the bedroom when she murders him. She leaves the county when she attempts to murder him. As part of her alibi. Not only can she not be present, she has to be distant. So that when she calls 911, she says, I wasn't even there. I was in Utah County. And in each case, she has a delayed response, right? It's the delayed response in calling 911 when she murders him. And it's her delayed response in returning home when she failed to murder him. The element of, again, is it Kouri Richins? Yes, she is the person with the means, the motive, and the opportunity. Nobody else. The means, illicit street drugs in the sandwich. The motive, money, fresh start at life. The opportunity, she left the sandwich in Eric's car. Intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Eric Richins, right? It's attempt, so attempted to cause the death of Eric Richins. The same reasons. She told Becky Lloyd it would be better if he were dead. She wanted the Michael Jackson stuff, the lethal stuff, the fatal stuff, the stuff that kills. She wanted Eric Richins' life insurance. You only get life insurance when Eric's dead. The commonalities persist. Kouri Richins ordered fentanyl from Carmen Lauber, or ordered something from Carmen Lauber, the Michael Jackson stuff, the fatal stuff. Carmen says, I told her I could get her fentanyl. She said, okay, get the fentanyl. But she ordered illicit street drugs from Carmen Lauber, who got them from Robert Crozier at the Maverick in Draper. Again, the volume of calls during the drug purchase between both Kouri Richins and Carmen Lauber and Robert Crozier and Carmen Lauber. And recall, we don't have the content of the texts because they were deleted from Kouri Richins' phone, deleted from Carmen Lauber's phone. Crozier lost his phone. The IRS was on her mind. She called him twice, 3 days before attempting to murder Eric Richins. We know she placed the call to the Mirror Lake Diner to order potentially fatal sandwich. We know that Kouri ordered it. Kouri picked it up in person. It was swiped. Don't know if you can tell that's Kouri Richins' signature, but notice it's one stroke. There's no pen lift. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Kouri Richins then distanced herself. She left the sandwich for Eric, and she drove an hour away to meet up with Josh Grossman on Valentine's Day. There's another commonality between the attempted murder and the murder, of course. They're big days. Losing your husband on Valentine's Day, that garners extra sympathy. Extra attention. Losing your husband the same day you're supposed to close on the biggest purchase of your life, that garners extra attention. The type of attention that Kouri Richins relishes in. You heard Kouri Richins testify how Eric was a cowboy when it came to injury or illness. He worked through it all. He cowboyed up. Cowboys don't go to the hospital unless they're near death. They don't even think about going to the hospital unless they're near death. And at 11:33, Eric's thinking about going to the hospital. And then all the activity, the physical activity on his phone ceases for 87 minutes in the middle of a busy workday. Shortly after activity resumes in Eric's phone, he calls his best friend and business partner Kouri Wright. Recall Cody said he could hear the fear in Eric's voice, a fear he'd only heard twice before both times associated with death. A fear he heard when Eric told him his mother had passed away, and a fear he heard when someone who struck Eric's truck in an automobile accident, and Eric thought that person might have passed away. He then spoke with his hunting buddy and close friend, Josh Hayes. You know and learn a lot about somebody when you hunt together and travel together. And Josh Hayes said, Eric.
I mean, this is so fucking clunky, guys. I'm sorry. This is really like short and concise and bullet pointy, and like I just I don't know, man. Like I think if you do these like bottom things where it's just a line or two like that, that might get more attention, because this is just I don't know. Like I said, I guess the true jury is gonna work, but for me, this ain't doing it. So there's not a verdict already. No, you are. I swear to God, if you're telling the truth. Hold on here. Like, they can't be. Aren't they done for the night? Hold on. Clock stopped. Oh, my God. Oh, shit, chat. We got a verdict. Whoa, buddy. Buddy. We got to switch over, chat. Hold on here. I got to switch over my, was there a verdict or is it over? The clock did not, the clock did stop. Okay. Oh, man. Hold on, chat. I'm switching over to Court TV here in a second. The verdict is too quick. Quick verdict is it? Okay, yeah, I think we got a verdict here. Hold on. Let me see here, chat. I think there's a verdict. Wow. Okay. Like, this is like OJ level shit, guys. Like, OJ had a verdict like within 4 hours. So everybody was getting ready to leave town and there was a verdict. So let me see here. So let's see here. Let's switch over to this chat. They're running like goobers. Clock has stopped. Oh, man. That's not a good sign. They're reading the verdict at 6:20 p.m. So like in 30 minutes. All right, chat. Well, do you guys want to keep listening to their argument for a minute? Do you want to keep listening to this for a second? Or no? Yeah, I'm going to keep listening to this for a minute. We're going to keep listening for a minute.
Sounded somber and serious. Josh asked Eric perhaps the two most pertinent questions. If he was going to the hospital, what was he going to do about it? Let's turn to Ali staking, singular, not plural. Clearly, close with Kouri. Friends since middle school. You observed the banter when Mistaking was testifying, the banter between her and Kouri Richins. It was friendly. She's still friendly with her. And Ali Staking testified about how a week or two after Valentine's Day, when Kouri Richins attempted to murder Eric, when I questioned her, she said, well, Eric jokingly, kind of jokingly, maybe jokingly said that Kouri Richins tried to poison me. Perhaps joking. But Kouri Richins' reaction is what was important here. Kouri said, no, she got defensive. That is not what happened. It was like an allergic reaction or something. It wasn't at all dramatic. She is covering up for poisoning. Then when defense counsel questioned Mistaking kind of backed off the jokiness of Eric's comment and attributed the jokiness to everyone else. Ali Staking said, well, defense counsel questioned, what did he tell you? That he believed Kouri had tried to poison him. Maybe it was one of those joking things like, I'm sending a message to Kouri Richins. I know what you tried to do. I'm joking about it, but I'm going to let you know. Maybe he was serious. Either way, comes back to Kouri Richins trying to poison him on Valentine's Day. Kouri Richins repeatedly tries to cover up that she tried to murder Eric on Valentine's Day. She says she was home with him. She tells her best friend, Chelsea Barney, I was home with him. She was not. She was with Josh Grossman. She did not come home until after 6:30 p.m. She was saying he never broke out in hives or used an EpiPen. That means he broke out in hives and used an EpiPen. When she spoke with her mother on August the 22nd, when she says she didn't put a love note and the sandwich in the front seat of his truck, she put a love note and the sandwich in the front seat of his truck. She's trying to distance herself. She's trying to cover up. She's trying to deflect.
Yeah.
And Eric said he was thinking about heading to the hospital. What did she say? Take a nap. Call me when you're up. She's saying that thinking he will take a nap and not wake up. When he does, Eric texts Kouri. He's asking if she's home because he had just said, I'm going to the hospital. Then he had stopped communicating, or he said, I'm thinking about going to the hospital, and then stopped communicating for nearly 2 hours. He's figuring she was coming home to assist him, but she wasn't. She's in Provo waiting for a cabinet installer guy. Maybe. She says then she's going to head home in 20 minutes. Nearly 2 hours later, question mark, where are you? We were heading home 20 minutes ago. She responds, what? Thanks for answering. Did you call? You didn't call. She thinks he's heading home. She's not. She's trying to figure out what to do. She's trying to figure out what to do because Eric survived. She had not planned on that. She's delaying to make her plan. And then at 6:34, Eric texts, we're headed in there. Food is on the front seat of his truck. The same place she left the poisoned sandwich with the love note. Eric Richins is telling her, I know what you did. That is the attempted aggravated murder. But as the attempted murder, now, of course, we have the two aggravators. They're the same. Same as with the aggravated murder. The money motive, same. Similar financial distress, same. There's also the first started life motive, right? That hasn't changed a bit. Josh Grossman, it's Josh Grossman on Valentine's Day, and it's Josh Grossman on March the 4th. Money motive the same, first started life motive the same. Now the second aggravator, administration of any substance in a lethal amount. Recall Dr. Eric Christensen's testimony that hives, EpiPen, all consistent with an opiate-like or an opiate allergic-like response, a pseudo-allergic response. Hives, EpiPen, along with zero activity, shows that Kouri Richins attempted to administer the illicit street drugs that she bought 3 days earlier from Carmen Lauber in a lethal amount. She just failed.
I'm just not impressed right now.
That's gone.
So,
okay, the insurance fraud. There are two insurance frauds.
yeah.
Let me distinguish them, please, for you. The first one is a scheme charge, a fraud scheme. The second one is a fraud claim charge. Count 3, the scheme charge relates to the $100,000 true stage policy. We're going to put it up in a minute. The fraud claim charge relates to the $250,000 true stage policy. The forgery, which we will get to, is a forgery related to count 3, the scheme charge. Let me unpack them. Okay. Different than the aggravated murder and attempted aggravated murder, I'll address all elements of the insurance fraud scheme kind of at once because they all jump out of this single page. And the scheme is quite simple. Kouri Richins wanted to murder Eric Richins, thus took out an insurance policy on his life to get money for murdering Eric Richins. Then she murdered Eric Richins, and then she submitted a claim to get the money. That is the scheme. And we know it was Kouri Richins because everything on this application for this $100,000 true stage insurance policy returns to Kouri Richins. Kouri Richins received the application because she was a member of PedFed. The application was addressed to her at her work address, so she would have been the one who received it. If there was any questions about it, any further follow-up mailings about it, they would go to her and not to Eric. This applicant information is all her, but the partner information is all her as well. Her work address, no email address where they could contact Eric. We'll get to the social security number in a minute. The primary phone, that's not Eric's phone. You'll see that Eric's phone is
I'm actually
801
thinking that's probably the case. It's not a
9317. And when you look at this closely during deliberations, you'll see that was originally a 7 that she later marked up to read like an 8. She initially wrote his correct phone number, then did not want anyone from True States to call him, so she changed the 7 to an 8 so that Eric would never know that this policy existed. After Kouri Richins took $250,000 out of Eric's home equity, he put all of his insurance that he knew about into the trust. If Eric had filled this out, the beneficiary would have been the trust, not Kouri Richins. Then we'll get to the signature. That's the fraud count 5 as well. It plays into this. We'll talk to it during count 3, but it's also the freestanding charge in count 5. Let's go to the next page. The social security number was blacked out for privacy reasons on the application we just reviewed, but you'll recall Ann Coates testifying that the last 6 digits were transposed. We all know our own social security numbers. We often get a little bit confused on our spouses.
Yes, I do.
Eric did not sign the application. Matt Throckmorton, the handwriting expert. Eric did not sign.
Literally, guys, that's all this is here right now on the other screen, so don't worry. That's all it's here. I'm just clicking tabs.
It was probably a simulated forgery.
It was probably. Not even we're really fucking sure. It was probably. If it's probably something, that's not reasonable doubt.
We'll call his testimony that Eric Richins has pen lips in his signature. The forged one didn't have any pen lips. You'll see Kouri Richins' signature throughout this case. No pen lips. Then, Kouri Richins filed a claim for this $100,000 two-stage policy. It's actually the same claim for both policies. And she said she really does not know where her husband, Eric, got the fentanyl from. Of course she knows. She ordered it from Carmen Lauber. That is the fraud scheme. Plan to kill Eric, fill out life insurance so I can get money for killing Eric, kill Eric, and then claim the money. Now for the insurance fraud claim count 4. This is the true stage $250,000 policy. This is the claimant's statement filled out. Kouri Richins beneficiary, Kouri Richins email, Kouri Richins address. Everything about this claim says Kouri Richins is submitting this claim. And then, like before, the fraud here, the falseness of it is she says she doesn't know where the fentanyl came from, when in fact she ordered illicit street drugs from Carmen Lauber. And indeed, later in the Walk the Dog letter, admits to asking Carmen for fentanyl. Finally, count 5, the forgery charge. We've discussed most of the forgery when we discussed count 3. But there's this without the authority to do so element. It's not a forgery if Eric gave Kouri Richins permission. The state has to prove that Kouri Richins did not sign Eric's name with permission, with authority. All of the evidence in this case proves that Kouri Richins does not ask for permission, she takes. She took with the home equity loan. She took other people's money. She's a taker, not an asker. Finally, like I mentioned earlier, Eric Richins, the evidence proves, would have put the trust as the beneficiary, not Kouri Richins. If he had given permission, it would have been permission to make the trust the beneficiary. That's the forgery charge. Let's please now turn to Kouri's motive for a fresh start at life. You heard the instructions. The state does not have to prove any motive except for the pecuniary gain motive because it's an aggravator. But motive explains why Kouri murdered Eric Richins, why she attempted to murder him. Motive explains a lot here. These texts at this point are familiar. The day after Kouri Richins speaks with Becky Lloyd and tells Becky Lloyd she would be better if Eric were dead, she texts Josh Grossman that she's in love with him, a man, not her husband. If I was divorced right now and asked you to marry me, would you? That's the day after the attempted murder. If he could just go away and you could just be here, life would be so perfect. We're familiar with this text. We've read it already today. I ask you to read it again. This time, replace the word divorce with the word murder. This graphic shows a juxtaposition between Josh and Eric that is insightful to what Kouri thinks about each of them. In each instance, she is texting, well, she is kind of simultaneously texting. These are laid out chronologically. She is simultaneously texting with both Josh and Eric about closing on the Midway mansion. And she is so excited texting with Josh. I can't believe it. I want to celebrate with you. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you for always being my support, shoulder, and rock. I need you all the time. Some things I could never do without.
We will go to the live verdict. I just wanted to hear a little bit more of this. Like, just here. We'll go over to the live verdict now. There. The wall of nothingness. So I'm not impressed by that closing argument. That was just dragging on and on and on needlessly. I don't know about you guys. So, that was really not impressive. How can I see the live verdict? We're going to see it in here in a minute. So whenever it pops up, just waiting till it happens. So I wanted to hear a little bit more of that closing. That was just awful. The rebuttal is better. Yeah, the rebuttal, people are already sucking at that point. The defenses was way worse. Yeah, but I don't know. I think she might be getting out of this. If they really thought she was guilty, a lot of times juries will say, like, we want to take our time and we went back through all the evidence and we double checked ourselves. And it's like, I don't think that's happening here. Like, I don't get that vibe. This jury was like, yeah, we're not sure. So let's double check. This is a lot more like, I want to go home, not guilty. So what the hell did I just run over my fucking chair? Oh, a piece of fucking. Oh, I see what it is. A piece of 3D printed plastic. So it's not even jury fatigue. I just don't think the state did a very good job at this point. I just don't think they did a very good job. I just don't think they did a very, very good job at all here. It's one of the biggest things. That officer coming out and saying, well, yeah, there's fentanyl everywhere, but Crozier saying, hey, man, I didn't handle fentanyl. So I was only handling real pills. I would never touch fentanyl. It's like, well, there you go. That's a sign here. I don't think that's something you can ignore. And I think the jury might just say, screw it, good enough. He did it or she did it, but I'm not sure they're going to do that today. I mean, it could easily be I don't know how this is going to shake out here. You didn't believe the star witness? So wait, you didn't believe her from the state side of it, or what side of it did you not believe? Because that's going to be an issue here. Tim says if you're wrong, you have to gift 100 memberships. I was thinking not guilty of this fast forward. I mean, it's generally speaking, when they come back, I mean, here. It wasn't super fast. It was 3 hours roughly. give or take. It said 2 hours and about 57 minutes. So 3 hours isn't that long. I mean, isn't that short? I mean, I've had 10-minute verdicts on felony cases, you know, or as one judge said, you know, they took enough time just to go take a crap. You know, they all took a leak and they came back to vote. That's a very common thing. Or if they all walk in there and they straw poll and they're all in agreement, they'll take a couple minutes to revote again and say, yeah, we're done. But if they got 3 hours in, it sounds like they actually deliberated a lot. And I don't know. I like that they are guilty, but I kind of get the vibe not guilty here. I don't know. I don't know, actually. But it will be good. This will be good. I mean, it's either Kouri's going to have the best day ever or not. But remember, at the end of the day, she's got all those financial cases, too. So even if she wins here, she's probably still going to prison for a very, very, very long time. So Matthew Moore was minutes and not guilty. Yes, it was, Winter Soldier. That's correct. Generally speaking, yeah. Luke says, damn, 10 minutes. I've heard of people having less time than that. At what point does it seem like an irresponsibly fast verdict? I mean, my guy was pretty guilty, the 10-minute verdict. Like, if they had acquitted him, I mean, I would have accepted it. Anonymous, 8:20. They are reading the verdict at 8:20 Eastern. So 4 minutes. I would have said when it came back that fast, I mean, if they hadn't have convicted him, I would have thought these jurors were half a retard. So I would have been very concerned that they bought the shit we were trying to, I would have started selling them timeshares immediately. That's how stupid they would have been. So no, it's not. Normally you don't get that kind of, you're not that worried. Usually it's because it's a pretty clear verdict. I mean, I've had misdemeanor trials when I did public defender stuff, jury took 10 minutes or less. That happens. But 3 hours is a healthy amount of time, actually. That's not a super fast verdict. I mean, remember, this is like OJ's verdict came back this fast. But remember, OJ was 8 months. This was a lot less than 8 months. So having a 3-hour verdict, that's not outlandish. Either way, the jury definitely has been deliberating. And I have a feeling they were probably already pretty close to one way or another. It's not like they 12 Angry Men did. I can tell you that much. So the state botched the OJ case. I mean, a little bit, yeah. It's a tough case. And yes, there are a lot of things the state didn't do right. And, they suffer the consequences to allow other people to learn how to win. I'm even denying daylight savings time. Yes. Ariel saying, there was a DUI case in my court with the prior judge, and he didn't even instruct the elements of the charge, and the jury came back in 13 minutes. Wow. How is that legal? Although, wait, that was probably, I think you said you do work on the res, so it's like, you guys get to do whatever the fuck you want on those places. Doesn't matter if it's, there's a lot of playing around with that, but that's funny. So it's not legal. I don't know. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff out there. So remember, there's white man law and Indian law. Let's see here. The state was completely out lawyered. I don't think so. I think they're kind of stuck with some bad facts. And it didn't help that they're witnesses, and this is one of the problems. When you rely on a couple of loser junkie drug addicts like Carmen Lauber and then fucking Crozier, it's not good when if those are the people you have to rely on. Think about it. You're running a business and you're relying on those people to help keep your business afloat. The odds of those idiots keeping your business afloat are slim to none. So just something to think about. Just something to think about there. Yeah, Katie got the model channel take you down faster than in 3 hours. Yes, she did. So, model stream, but it's just Kouri pics at the beach. Clinky pee bottles? No, that was actually I bumped my fork. Maybe she should have testified. I know. No, because this isn't a self-defense case, and she would have basically spent all her time saying what had happened was, and trying to explain all the sketchy shit she did. You are not going to win. You are not going to win on that. Like, you're not going to explain that all away. So, do I have to remove something? No, I think I'm down for a week. I got to check. I haven't bothered checking because I've been busy. I've been a little busy. Let's see. Radcon Hazard says death by PowerPoint shall continue until the verdict is read. Yes, thank you. Yes, that was excruciating, and I think they could have cut those slides down some. That's just how you lose people. You know, give them the little bits, give them the little pieces, give them, come on, like, come up with a plan and do it. But this is just, that was obnoxious. That was totally obnoxious. But thank you, Radcon. Zaxarian says, this is why your life is already over, stalker child. Enjoy prison. Yes, realtor child. Oh, no. Chugi show for $5. Thank you, Chugi. He says, I didn't care for him playing the entire call, but I felt like he got some good stuff in. Yeah, he did, but I think at the end of the day, they still have a lot of problems here. They still have a lot of problems on this case. So, yeah, I don't think it was the best. Lauper is saying the defense essentially said Carmen Lauber, the maid who says she brought drugs, is incredible. She's not. Neither of them are. They're junkies. Can't trust. You can't trust the fucking word they say. But those are the only people involved in this case. But remember, I mean, these guys are saving their ass for going to prison forever because they're both looking at probably life sentences. So, yeah, it's amazing what they'll tell you. Amazing what they'll tell you. Mecky says, what do you think the verdict will be? Like, I'm really kind of torn. I don't know. Like, I'm very, very torn on this one. I mean, 3 hours in, I could see a not guilty, but I'm thinking it's going to be guilty. The VTubing enthusiast says, do you think the judge is wearing pants? Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. If I was judge, I'd be more of like a shorts guy. So, like, I get, if you catch my drift. I could see that. I definitely could see it. Thank you for $2. Potentially criminal for 5 subs. Let's fucking go tonight, chat. I'm getting a woo for Clyde. That's right, chat. We got a Clyde a woo. And then Anonymous says, thank you, Mr. Lawyer Man. Glad to catch you live during tax season. 70-hour minimums right now. That's the one thing I don't like. That would suck to be a tax guy. And you got to work your ass off during like March Madness. That is not going to be fun. That's not going to be fun. And then VTubing enthusiast says new free Ready or Not DLC came out last week. I can't do it this week. Yeah, I heard there's like a like an amusement park and some other things came out. But community play along next week, please. We might. Well, I don't know. Hold on here. Yeah, we might do that this weekend. What? Yeah, we'll do it this weekend. We'll play some Ready or Not, chat. We'll play some Ready or Not. Well, it's a date. It's a date, chat. I'm gonna need a bunch of you on a team, though. I need a bunch of you to help me. I need 4 people on my team with me. So we'll do that. We'll do that. EDW Raptor for 5 subs. Let's go. Pray in the gray away, chat. We are making America green again here. Amateur Iconoclast for 1 sub. Thank you. And yes, thanks, as EDW Raptor says, it is Happy Gary Plauché Day. Thank you. May he live on forever, Gary Plauché. And if you guys don't know who we're talking about, Gary Plauché is the famous father who would ship a pedophile by himself in an airport terminal. And actually, Chad, I'm thinking about this. It's probably guilty. It's most likely going to be a guilty verdict. So, if I have to guess, it's going to be guilty. Anyways, this is Gary Plauché. What he's most famously known for is dispatching this man who sexually molested his son and then kidnapped his son and basically took him across country. And now he's being extradited back to Louisiana, and he's at the airport in Louisiana. And Gary's dad makes a surprise guest appearance. And that's Gary's dad. I mean, that's Gary Plauché. Taking care of some business here. Here we go. There we go. Happy Gary Plauché Day, chat. Happy Gary Plauché Day. So, good news, chat. Good news. Special guest appearance, yes. Based, yes. It's actually funny because it happened the time just right, watching that dude's head just... The guy was in the way, yes, at the Baton Rouge airport. Yes, there was a red stick and some red carpet. Let me tell you what. Yes. Why, Gary? Why? Yes, he sent him to hell, as he did. While he was in the custody of the police, yes. Yes. Gonzalo Rogel says, have I tried Menace? Is that a game? What is this? Hold on here. Is it in the Steam store? Ooh, okay. What is this? Okay, so, you're like... No, I have not... it's like a turn-based tactical game. Okay. No, but I like this. Oh, this is kind of cool. I think I could dig this. I'll have to look at it another point. Thank you. No, I've not played it yet, but my interest is piqued. Let me see. How much does this fucker cost? Oh, that's it? That's not bad. I'll take a look at it. We got to do Ready or Not. And if you guys know what Ready or Not is, it's basically like a... you're the police and you do SWAT stuff, but it's like Rainbow Six on steroids with super aggressive AI. So, didn't he get no punishment? He got convicted, but yes, the judge basically didn't convict him or sentence him to anything other than probation. So, yes, the jury was not told they could do jury nullification. Sadly, I think that was a crime that they were told they couldn't do that. No, he got convicted of manslaughter. The jury was really scared about convicting him because they told the judge, we don't want to convict him, so we don't want him to get in trouble. We don't want him to go to prison. And the judge said, don't you worry about that. And then the judge put him on probation and said, have a fun day. Don't enable Steam recommendations from the audience. It's going to be hentai sooner or later. Well, we've already crossed that bridge, sir. Ready or Not is brutal. I know. I played it for a while. I was playing it for a couple, like maybe like a year ago. I was playing it for like a weekend or two, and like, whoa, man, it is tough. It's tough. Did the jury ask for sandwiches? Yeah. Spughead says, what happened to the model stream? Well, somebody wanted me to play a video, and that video was apparently copyrighted by the big black cock of Britain. And that BBC, let me tell you something, buddy. That BBC found my stream and just made it suffer. And I was not ready for that. So, yeah, we ended up getting nuked. So, we are not in the game for a while now. So, yeah. Someone set me up, I know. It's like burn notice. I want to find the son of a bitch who set me up. Bugmaster Flexes, I bet Shelman tried to finish the campaign for North Africa, the Desert War. Yeah, do you mean the North African campaign, that board game? Hell yeah, I would. Dude, I played Bolt Action on Saturday. All fucking day. Hell yeah, I'd play this Desert War game. The Desert Campaign. Oh. EDW reported the stream. I can't do any models but his. Well, that's going to make Meme Copium sad because Meme also sent me some stuff. Oh, hold on, chat. I need to scan a page real quick here. Hold on. Hold on, chat. Oh, that's why did the scanner app go down? Sorry. I got to scan something for another attorney here. They need it. You're going to be playing it for a while. Victoria 3, that's a little, I'd have to learn that one. So. The judge is back. The judge is back. Meme sent me Sandy's collected over the decades.
231-500-139,
Oh, here we go.
State of Utah versus Kouri Richins. Counsel for the state and the defendant are present. Ms. Richins is present as well. The court is informed that the jury has reached a verdict.
77% guilty.
Know what it is. We'll invite the jury in a moment. When I do, I'll ask the foreperson.
Oh, here we go, buddy.
A simple yes or no question. Have you reached a unanimous verdict? I expect that person will say yes. I'll ask them to hand the verdict to the bailiff.
I'm going to turn up the sound, chat. Let me know if you can hear this better.
This brings me to important instruction number 1.
Oh, here we go.
There can be no outward reactions whatsoever to the verdict. These folks are here against their will. They, all the lawyers, Ms. Richins, every attendee, my court staff, the bailiffs, everybody deserves your respect.
I'm pretty sure it's guilty,
cannot
chat.
be any outward reactions.
It's probably
you have to keep your hands folded in your lap. If you feel overcome with emotion, just look down. We cannot have any outward reaction. Second, once the verdict is read and the jury is discharged, you need to stay seated and follow the deputy's instructions.
You know who else is also forced to be there at gunpoint? Kouri fucking Richins, homie. So if I'm Kouri and I get a not guilty, I'm fucking dabbing on him.
Follow these instructions. This is your chance to leave.
That's absolutely bullshit the way he just did that.
All right.
Bullshit.
Fair warning. Counsel, Ms. Richins.
That is not fair at all.
To ask all the lawyers and the defendant to stand in respect for the jury as I read the verdict. I just don't want you to be surprised. Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis.
We are.
All right.
So. ASAP Rocky dive into the gallery. All right, here we go, chat.
I do not. Do you want me to?
Uh-oh.
I can.
I like Ramos's tie is like a tablecloth. I like it, though.
Folks, please have a seat as you come in. Please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, would the foreperson you've selected please stand? May I ask you a yes or no question? Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict?
Yes, we have.
Would you please hand the verdict form to the deputy, and you can have a seat. Thank you. All right. Counsel, Ms. Richins, please stand. Count 1, aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of aggravated murder.
There you go.
We, the jury, unanimously agree that the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 1 beyond a reasonable doubt. The homicide was committed for pecuniary gain, and the homicide was committed by means of the administration of any substance administered in a lethal amount, dosage, or quantity. Count 2, attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 2 beyond a reasonable doubt. The attempted homicide was committed for pecuniary gain. Count 3, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 4, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 5, forgery. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of forgery. It's signed by the foreperson. Please have a seat. Madam Foreperson, is this the verdict that the jury reached unanimously?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you may have a seat. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, do you wish the jury to be polled?
Yes, please.
All right. Folks, I'll ask you the same yes or no question, one at a time, starting on my left, working this way. Front row first. If you could show me your lanyard number as I ask you. Juror number 5, is this the verdict you voted in favor of? Yes. Juror number 4, is this a verdict you voted in favor of? Juror number 3.
Yes.
I can't see your name, I'm so sorry. The foreperson, I just need to ask you again, I'm sorry. Juror number 2.
Yes, it is.
Juror number 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir. Juror number 8.
Yes.
Juror number 7.
Yes.
Juror number 6.
Yes.
All right. Counsel, is there anything further on this case before the jury is discharged? Mr. Bloodworth.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Lewis.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this trial is now finished. Thank you for your service. The American system of justice relies on your time and your sound judgment, and you have been generous with both. You serve justice by your fair and impartial decision. All of my previous admonitions are now lifted. You may speak about this case with anyone or with no one at all. It is entirely up to you. You might be contacted in the future by the press or by the lawyers. You do not have to talk with them or with anyone else, but you may if you would like. The choice is yours entirely. I'm now turning to the attorneys and instructing them to honor your wishes as officers of the court if you indicate that you do not want to talk about this case. If you do talk about the case, please respect the privacy of your fellow jurors. The confidences they may have shared with you during deliberation are not yours to share with others. Thank you, all of you, for your service. Please rise for the jury. All right, please have a seat. Ms. Lewis, we need to get a pre-sentence investigation report, and we need to set sentencing. I imagine, Mr. Bloodworth, that the state would request that that be special set.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, does defendant waive the 45-day limit for sentencing?
Yes, we will.
All right. Let me call up my calendar. Should we be looking in May, Ms. Lewis?
That's fine.
Do you have a sense of it, Mr. Bloodworth? April is not possible. In May, do you have a sense of when would be appropriate?
Your Honor, can I step back and talk to the victim's family?
Sure. And Ms. Lewis, if you need a moment to confer with anyone.
Your Honor, any day in May works.
Without having to move something, which I am, of course, willing to do, I could do it during the week of May 25 or the morning of May 13. But if those times don't work, or if the week of May 25 is too far out, I'll move something to accommodate council schedules. Ms. Lewis, why don't I begin with you?
Either of those days would work for the defense.
Is a morning enough time?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Okay. We'll set sentencing for 9:30 a.m. Wednesday, May 13. We're
There you
hereby
go.
referring Ms. Richins for the preparation of a pre-sentence investigation report. Ms. Lewis, anything else on the record today?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloodworth?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Richins, I'll see you again, May 13, 9:30 a.m. I need everyone to stay seated, follow the instructions of the Summit County deputies. The court is in recess. Travel safely.
All right. Well, there you go, chat. That's it for Kouri. So should have blamed it all on her mother. I don't know. I mean, do I think at the end of the day that it was good enough for the jury? Sure. I'm sure when we get to hear what they're going to say coming up, I mean, I think that's probably they're going to point out like just the using her phone to search stuff. All that is just stuff we're not like. I'm sure that was completely what did it for her at the end of the day. On to Afro Man now. No, we're not gonna do Afro Man tonight. We're gonna start Afro Man tomorrow because we can catch up on that. So why did I fight Vaseline on my camera? But yeah, all the stuff she did there. I mean, all that stuff makes whether or not you did it. That is such a horrible look to be that scummy of a person. She did all these things. Yeah, another trial in the bag. Yeah. Sean is in mourning. No, I am not surprised that that was good enough for the jury because all that stuff's really damning. All that stuff is very, very damning for Kouri. You know, the phone records, just how she was in debt all this way. She had kind of stolen money and she had kind of screwed around with the company. And then all that shit she did after Eric died, where she's like trying to get the house, and her and her friend Shells, they're just sitting there all wind up out of their minds. and they're bitching about like how that house is meant for them and it's her house and she's not letting anybody stop her from having her house. I mean, maybe she was right at the end of the day, but that's stuff to a jury. You look like you're evil as hell. And I think that does show like she's not as sympathetic as she thought, like she claimed to be. And I think Kouri probably was high on her own farts. I can only imagine they tried to explain to Kouri more than once, like, this is not going to work out in your favor. You probably shouldn't do this. And I'm sure Kouri's like, we'll make it work. And it's like, well, sadly, you didn't. Shredder S. 07. Yes, he says, like I said, one word verdict. Yes, we're retconning that. Johan says, is May 13th Eric's birthday? Oh, I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Bruce Tuttle says justice. Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, I think she did it. I'm pretty convinced she did it. So, she said she didn't love him. Yeah. The Fent sandwich poisoned her a paragon of judgment. Yeah. Let's see here. My birthday is this week. Well, happy birthday, EDW. I faked the takedown to get rid of get out doing the model. Okay. Like, there's so many other ways I could have done stuff. Oh, wow. They said something on the first? What? Hold on here, chat. I gotta move not junk. I hate this when it does this shit and it's like, not junk. Then it says it right back to your junk folder and it's like, but I told you it's not junk. And I said, don't block these senders. Like, it's just ridiculous when they do that. And it's just redonkulastic. Never block. Port not junk. Yeah, I hate that it just did that. That was just annoying. Sorry, chat. I'm just like, it gets a little annoying when it does crap like that. What is... there we go. Anyway, sorry. Real question is, can she still list my house? Doug, yes. Oh my god, that's so funny. Yes. Can I still get my house listed? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Yes. Does it, yeah, does that mean oh. Yeah, does this mean Anne Margaret's not coming, sir? Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on, Chen. I gotta see. Ooh, we'll do this. Sorry. A bunch of emails just showed up out of nowhere. And it's like, that's not what I was anticipating. April 28th. Perfect. Perfect. I can do that. Don't wait. Hold on. Tell me, is that a... Are we doing that in person? Ew. What's it do in person on that day? Yeah, I can do one of those. Pow, pow. Then, sorry, guys. And I do that. The real lawyer stuff happens. Sorry. There, shared my times. Candidly's the best way to do it there. The defense put out a statement. They did. I mean, the rule is Sean answers your work-related emails. Yes, well, I had to do them. Kouri's lawyers already put out a statement. I mean, what did they put out already? How can they, Let me just see. Let me see if there's trying to find Kouri Richins here. Kouri Richins. See if there's a statement here. I don't see the statement, chat. So wherever you're, where is this statement at? Because I don't see it. So you're telling me she did something. So yeah, well, Kouri, you can't walk the dog no more. Did the judge send cucumber sandwiches home with the tree? The statement is maybe should have put on a case after all. I mean, I don't know how well that was going to go. I don't know how well it was going to go at the end of the day. Stephen Cooper says also JBS just had a walkout strike today. So also expect beef to go up. Well, yeah, well. Say la vie, everything's going up, chat. Everything's going up. Mr. Hutto says America died tonight. Yes, it did. From here on, says felted tables. Yes, that is also true. She's still facing additional financial charges, is she not? Yeah, she's facing a lot of financial charges. Kind of like Alex Murdaugh. You know, he had all that stuff after the murder trial. So even if she won here, she could still face a lot of prison time. And it sounds like they really had her 100% dead to rights and got her doing stuff. Ariel is saying for 13 months. Thank you for being here. Says, can we watch Afro Man now? No, Afro Man's got to be, I think if we do it, I don't know if we're going to be able to get it done tonight. And I would rather just tomorrow, like start at the normal time, 6:30 for the trial and just plow through day 1 and day 2 of Afro Man and get caught up on it. I'm also tired. This is a big day for me. We're working all freaking day. So, no, tomorrow we will start Afro Man and get him going. East Idaho News is broadcasting the press conference. Okay, well, we'll take a look at that here then. East Idaho News. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay, let's see here.
That before the verdict was read, Kouri Richins was on the
guys,
murder counts.
There's no nobody's come outside yet. I'm watching the channel here. Hold on. We'll
looks like they are going into there's stairs there. I don't know if we can see it on our camera.
Here we go.
They walked into that justice.
There's nothing happening yet. So
again, they said that they did not wish to make a statement tonight.
So no statements or nothing right now. Let's see here. Mormons love their scandals. Yeah. Does Kouri think she's smart? Yeah, I think she thinks she's smart. I wonder if she realized she ain't as smart as she thought she was. Darla Ritchie says guilty. Yes. And yeah, for somebody like Kouri Richins, I'm sure this is the first time she's had to deal with the reality of no, actually getting told no in a real way, that she's been denied and that, you're not, this is not going to work. Nobody cares. Nobody likes you. I'm sure this is very much a narcissistic collapse and crash for her. Can we at least see the Clyde I hit in the subtitles before we call it? Lamal. Hold on. 305. Hold on. You hit Clyde in this? Okay, hold on here. We're gonna. You said you had Clyde in this. Okay, well, here we go. You said there's Clyde hiding in this. Okay. Clyde in the subtitles. All right, here we go. Clyde hiding in the subtitle.
Have a seat.
Where's the Clyde?
Your Honor, at this point, we'd like to make a motion for mistrial and make a proffer on it. First of all, at multiple points in the prosecution's closing, he made efforts to dehumanize the defendant, in fact, calling her a black widow.
Okay, Afix, I don't see Yeah, lots of Clydes in the subtitles. Anyway, we're gonna watch that time. That was the time code, though. Okay, well, anyway, I wanted to hear this because I saw this was on Twitter, but I didn't click on it. So apparently, they're gonna bitch about some stuff here. Let me see what happens. I'm kind of curious to see what this is all about.
Comparing her to a deadly spider, calling her a narcissist when there's been no evidence introduced to support that, no expert testimony, nothing of the nature. Furthermore, it's completely improper for the prosecution to comment on her demeanor while she sat at counsel table. That's a comment on her failure to testify. Asking the jury to take into consideration facial expressions, which in his opinion may or may not have happened. I don't know what he's basing that on, but it's improper, and it's our suggestion that is a comment on her failure to testify by revealing what her response to testimony was, is calling upon her to testify in this case. Furthermore, in the closing, there was wild speculation on what was in Kouri Richins' mind, completely made up by Mr. Bloodworth with no evidence whatsoever to support it. Also, Mr. Bloodworth wrongly told the jury that giving any illicit street drugs to Mr. Richins was sufficient to support aggravated murder. That, in fact, is not true. The only drug that would support aggravated murder would be fentanyl. What he said to the contrary is not consistent with the court's instructions, and we would ask that that be corrected with a curative instruction. That they should follow the court's instructions on what it takes. It would not be sufficient if she bought some other type of drug that did not cause his death. That's just not the law. I think that's it, Your Honor.
Mr. Glover?
I mean, that seems kind of like, what the fuck? That's like, I wouldn't even make that argument. That's so bad.
Forgive me. I need a little bit more detail as I go through
Awful
these.
argument.
Which of these do you want a curative instruction regarding, and which of these are you moving for a mistrial on?
Moving for mistrial on all of it, Your Honor. The curative instruction, I think, is required by the wrongful information that giving an...
Yeah, she's guilty all counts. We're going back and rewatching this part. So I didn't get to see it yet.
Any illicit street drug is sufficient to support aggravated murder. That's just not true. And that's super important, because if they do believe that, there is evidence to make a finding that there was oxycodone. And there was no oxycodone found in his body. So that can't support a conviction. So that's what I think requires the curative instruction. The rest of it, I don't know any way you can cure it, Your Honor.
The Utah Court of Appeals disagrees with you regarding the prosecutor's comments. A long line of cases talk about the potential prejudicial effect of an improper comment by a prosecutor only being able to be measured after the defense gives its closing and the state gives its rebuttal, and we consider any curative instructions. What's your alternative position there? I could, for example, instruct the jury that Mr. Bloodworth's observations of Ms. Richins' demeanor are not evidence, and they are to rely on their observations of Ms. Richins, if any, only.
I just don't even think that her demeanor is proper to rely upon, because she didn't testify.
She burst out in laughter during the showing of the decedent's body. I don't think it would be appropriate for me to tell the jury you can't possibly consider that.
They didn't show that. Oh, man. She laughed when they showed his body? Oh.
Testify.
She burst out in laughter during the showing of the decedent's body.
God.
I don't think it would be appropriate for me to tell the jury you can't possibly consider that.
I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
No.
I totally trust you, but I have no recollection of any laughter when his body was
No,
shown.
it was a hypothetical, Ms. Nestor.
Oh, thank
Probe
goodness.
the bounds of your categorical.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say, holy shit. Like, when did that happen? God. Judge, like, whew. That was rough the way you phrased that.
Statement that the jury can never consider the defendant's demeanor.
I'm sorry. I thought you were saying she did that, and I was just horrified.
Please stay focused.
I am focused. I just misheard you.
Phrased well enough.
So, is what you're asking me is, do we want a curative instruction now? Do we want to wait until later? Is that what the court is asking? Court's indulgence for just a moment.
I would let it go. You don't want to focus on this.
Okay, I think we do want it now, if we can get one now.
Let's hash that out for a second. What I proposed was an instruction that the jury may rely on their own observations, if any, of Ms. Richins' demeanor in trial, but they cannot rely on counsel statements regarding what Ms. Richins' demeanor was. I want to be clear. There were no comments regarding her silence.
Well, it's our position that when you comment on how she looked while she remained silent at counsel table, that is a comment on her silence, in our estimation. But I agree that he didn't say anything specifically about silence. That instruction would be preferable to no instruction, I think.
Okay. And then the Black Widow comment was connected to comments that were made by Chelsea Barney, correct?
I mean, they came out of his mouth in closing.
And he specifically referenced Chelsea Barney's testimony. Is it your position that Chelsea Barney never used that phrase or words?
I don't recall her saying that, but it's been a long trial and I would not want to make that I 1000% am sure, but I certainly don't recall that.
That's not
It was in the
work.
recorded phone call with Bryce Knudsen.
So,
And then everybody is speculating as to defendant's state of mind. It's one of the factual issues that the jury will have to determine according to circumstantial evidence, because as we instruct them, there's no direct evidence of what's in her mind. Why was anything that Mr. Bloodworth said regarding the inferences that can be drawn regarding her state of mind inappropriate?
Because they were made up out of whole cloth with no evidence to back it up.
You're going to have to be more specific.
So he went to great lengths to fantasize about what she was thinking about when there's been no evidence to that. He could have certainly said, look, she could have been thinking this, she could have been thinking that. He didn't. He gave them what was in her mind, which is just based on things he made up in his own head, not based on evidence.
Why aren't they all based on his view of the evidence that came into trial? Was there any references to evidence that did not come in?
Well, first of all, calling her a narcissist, I mean, that didn't come in. There was no testimony that she's ever been diagnosed to have a narcissistic personality disorder. There's no evidence at all about her mental condition. And then when he talked about her putting the reasoning why she picked certain days to get more attention, nothing about that has ever come into play, ever. I mean, that's just one of many. He went through lots of scenarios about what she was thinking as if it was a fact, and it wasn't. So, I mean, I think he can encourage the jury to use circumstantial evidence to try to reach their own conclusions, but he can't say this was in her mind when he doesn't know.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it, Your Honor.
Mr. Blood, go ahead.
Your Honor, were there any particular points that defense counsel raised that remain unresolved in the court's mind?
Any objection to the proposed instruction regarding the jury must rely on
that is his way of saying, Judge, this is so retarded, whatever.
their own observations, if any, of defendant's demeanor, but cannot consider counsel's statements regarding her demeanor?
No objection.
Okay. And then the statement regarding giving any kind of illicit street drug is sufficient to show the murder count. Talk to me about that. I did catch that comment. They're not making that one up. Now, there was more, and in the total course of the state's initial opening, I think you made it clear that you were encouraging the jury to make specific findings beyond a reasonable doubt regarding each required element.
Mm-hmm.
There was that initial comment, though. I don't think an instruction regarding having trouble crafting a curative instruction that doesn't just give a theory of the case. What's your view of this?
Your Honor, I don't think anything needs to be cured. The state does not have to prove that the defendant intended to murder Eric Richins with fentanyl.
True.
The state only needs to prove that the defendant intended to murder him with the illicit street drugs that she purchased from Carmen Lauber.
And that they contained fentanyl. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, on the second element or the aggravator? Because there's a distinction there.
I think on both. She has to actually knowingly or intentionally cause the death for count one. So if she buys something that she thinks is OxyContin,
correct,
and intends the giving of the OxyContin to kill him, and it turns out that what she got was blue M30s that had fentanyl and it killed him, the difference between aggravated murder and murder is irrelevant. She has committed an aggravated murder. What the distinction I think that I acknowledge is that she doesn't have to intend to kill him with fentanyl. She has to intend to kill him with poison, even if she thought she was getting one and got the other.
Correct.
As long as it worked, she committed the crime.
Correct. And I think that's what I said throughout.
I think that is the weight of the argument overall that you made.
If there's a particular sentence I said that is different than that, then I agree we should cure it. But I don't think I said anything different than that.
On this one, Ms. Nestor, I think the better course, rather than for the court to insert itself at this point, is to allow the rest of closing to play out, and we can readdress this issue at the end.
Okay.
I expect that this issue will get teased out in detail through Ms. Lewis's closing and the state's rebuttal. Give me a moment to collect my thoughts regarding the others. All right, thank you. Court will be in recess until... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can I just maybe say one thing?
Yes, please.
The state did not refer to the defendant as a narcissist. The state said that that was a narcissistic injury.
Right, I got it. Okay, I'll be back. 11:40, please. We'll be in recess.
Okay, well, that was a disaster. Absolute disaster for the defense there. Why even bother bitching about that? Yeah, this still requires a diagnosis. It does not. It shouldn't have been addressed. Yeah, that would have been awful. That would have been awful. But yeah, it's guilty all counts, chat. Guilty all counts. There's still nothing over on the East Idaho News thing. Nobody's come out and given a press conference. No one's talked yet. The defense whatever statement you guys say is out there, I still haven't seen. So still have not seen it. So Copy Kitty says, have you checked out Over the Top, the World War I, the online game yet? No, but I have seen clips of it. It looks pretty cool. There's a lot of good games out there. Edward Scott, wait, there was a verdict? Yeah, we had a verdict about 30 minutes ago. So yes. Oh. Let me see here. The verdict is that okay, no, we're not. No. Only a psycho taints someone's sandwich. Yes. From here on says it's St. Patrick's Day at the casino right now. Yeah. Model Stream. We can't do Model Stream. Model Stream's dead. Model Stream is like not gonna make it right now, chat. And I gotta see if I got an email for that or not. Let me see. YouTube. Okay, so no, it's just got. Oh, am I just blocked? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I could do streaming later. Katie didn't kill the channel all the way. My guest name is Carrot says, won't she get a whop? Yeah, probably. Oh, here we go, chat. We got something happening. We got something.
So you just heard words from Eric's cousin. The man is his cousin, and then his wife and daughter. Obviously, she's quite emotional.
Oh, here we go.
The news of
Here's some words that came out. Apparently, it's her cousins and stuff. I don't know. Who knows?
You want to come on, do a quick interview? Sorry, get out of your way.
Who really knows? We'll find out here.
What are we missing? Jordan. What are we missing?
Okay, here we go. So.
I'm just relieved. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Tell me about that.
Well, I'm feeling relieved. Justice is served. Yep. Justice. I don't really know what to do.
What's the last 4 years been like? I mean, as far as waiting for this moment?
Hard and difficult and emotional. Yep. We're definitely relieved.
Were you surprised jury came back so quick with the verdict?
They weren't prepared to be that quick, but surprised a little.
When it came back that quick, did you think, okay, this is probably a guilty verdict because it came back so quick, or did it give you any indication?
No, I was just as nervous.
We've always been positive. We've been positive for the time. So as a family, we just tried to stay together and let justice prevail. So,
do you feel like you can start healing more now that this is concluded?
Yeah.
Where do you go from here?
About the new normal.
Try to stay together. What do you hope you get justice prevail? Where do you go from here?
About the new normal.
What are you hoping to happen to the court on sentencing?
Let the courts figure that out. To say that justice will prevail with that as well.
There are 3 little boys that are part of this. Do you have any hopes and wishes for them? Father, brother,
They have a lot of love surrounding them. They're great boys, and they're gonna be fun.
Obviously, we're all here for this murder trial, but how do you want Eric to be remembered beyond the circumstances of this time?
He was an amazing father, brother, son, nephew.
No, all the documents are available online.
Everyone you ask, how do you know Eric? So he was an amazing person. They just laugh out there. So
I'll come up with something. Yes, Blueberries. Thank you.
great boys. I'm Rough, 311. To have someone pass away and
So.
then a year later to have circumstances to live and have to deal with that again and
I'll talk to her. He keep thinking Amy crying in there. Watching them go through this.
rough to relive it. Wanting to have someone pass away and then a year later to have the circumstance kind of flip and have to deal with that again and be sad all over again, but under different circumstances and so tough.
We're just here for them. Here for Eric. Eric's a lot for everybody. He was like, I miss him every day. I think of him every day. I love him. I'm here to support him.
Richins family.
Are you cousins?
Comments here, and we'll let you know. There might be one or two other family members who sneak out here who may want to say something.
All right, chat. That's kind of it for now. But yeah, no, I don't need you to go to West Union to go get me some Afromed stuff. All the documents are available, and we'll get into all of it tomorrow night. Let's see here. I scared the crap out of you at the crank volume. Sorry. But y'all work on something for Runkle. And another for $10. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Guy Remek, this is a defense statement. Kathy Rusin posted it. I found what you were talking about, but like, I thought you guys meant like the defense issued a statement like in the verdict, not like hours ago when the case started, like the jury started deliberating. That's what kind of threw me off. But I'm going to read this anyway. It's very inappropriate, though, I think. I think it's actually tempting fate. Also, yes, apparently May 13th is Eric Richins' birthday. He would have been 44 years old. So, the world is, ironic, full of irony. Now, this is weird here. This is something the defense put out, and I don't know why they did this. I really don't understand why they did this. This is literally not something that benefits them at all. And here we go. Papa Tragos isn't happy. I mean, I can understand why a jury would say not guilty, but I mean, I don't know how you could say they can't look at. I don't know how you can't look at that and say she's guilty. I mean, if you can't see how a jury would come to the guilty conclusion on that, I don't know what to tell you. But this is weird. So they did this after the jury got the case. So like before deliberation started. This is trippy. So they're saying, after 3 weeks in closing arguments, case of where it belongs in the hands of the jury. Why are you putting the statement out there? Because nobody's going to see it. No one that you care about is going to see it. The jurors aren't seeing it. But why would you, I feel like you're tempting fate doing this. We're grateful to the jurors for the seriousness they have shown throughout this trial. They have listened closely in every witness and every piece of evidence, and we respect the responsibility they now carry. You talk after the fight's over. You don't talk in the middle of it. And doing this right then, I thought is very inappropriate. Other than just saying it's in the jury's hands and we trust them to do the right thing. As you're walking out of the courthouse, you're walking by like, hey, do you have a comment? We expect them. We hope they do. We look forward to them doing the right thing. That's it. This is just goddamn amateur hour with these people. And they say for 3 years, the public has heard accusations about Kouri. Those accusations create a narrative that spread far beyond the courtroom, but those accusations are true. The narrative is true. But in court, accusations aren't enough. The law requires proof, which they had a lot of. After 3 weeks of testimony, the prosecutors failed to prove its case. I don't know about that. The standard in this county is proof beyond reasonable doubt. Where it has not yet been met, which, I disagree. Kouri has maintained her innocence from the beginning. Over the past several weeks, the jury has had an opportunity to hear the full evidence, not the headlines, not speculation, but the facts. We believe in the jury system and we trust the process. Kouri should finally be able to go home to her 3 young boys and begin rebuilding her life. Yeah, No. Yeah, as a pre-cope letter, and you can't pre-cope. You can't pre-cope. It's never fitting to pre-cope. It never is. Never, never, never. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, it is really, really weird. I don't know if Emily Baker, Peter Tragos, and Bob Mata, I don't know, Andrew. Well, Andrew's covering another trial, but I don't know if any of those people cover this. But that's a weird thing to do. Like such an in-depth statement like this, like right now at the trial. I'm surprised the judge didn't. I mean, I get the jury has it, but you're still not allowed to just comment like this. I mean, you're still not allowed to comment that way. Like, that was wholly inappropriate. Peter is traveling. Okay, well, good for him. EDB read it out. Did she like it? Because I think that is that I'm not plus. That's non-plussing for me. So don't forget Bob's wife. Yeah, Allie too. I think that's low rent the way they did it. I think that's low rent. I don't think that's something you should do at all. That was her last statement before the ineffective assistance of counsel. Oh, she even said, why would they do this? Good. I'm like, I don't understand why they would do that. This makes no sense at none of this. Actually, hold on. None of that makes any sense at all to me. None of that makes any sense at all. Maybe they actually set it out too early. No. You know, because it's clear, and this is meant to be while they're deliberating. The Kouri bros are mourning. Yes, right now. Yes, guys, Kouri coin is down. Fentanyl coin is bye. Wait. No, don't buy fentanyl coin. So, yeah, that just was not this is not an impressive thing here. It's not impressive. I don't think they proved the attempted murder. I mean, that one is kind of like sketch, but the rest of it they did pretty well. You know, the rest of it they did pretty well. And said, "Ugh, your power lines are flickering. It's not good." Yes. Nobody knows it says Kouri's prison daddy is moaning right now. So on prison day, she'll have a prison mommy. And she's good enough looking that they'll fight. They'll be trading her for commissary. This is called Fenty Scent. Yes, Fent on Coinbase at the dip. Buy it as it's not a known sandwich additive. Yes. Buy all your Fent coin, chat. Oh, but yeah, you guys really can't be shocked she got convicted. It was pretty obvious. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that would crush her in this case. And I think it probably did. We'll wait to hear from the jurors, but I'm sure they probably agree with that. Hey, you know, I don't know what else you could do there. I don't know what else more you could do. Yes, Moscow Mule Night at Stoney's now. Oh. So. All right, chat. So we're going to take a break here. We are going to get ready to head over to potentiallycriminal.locals.com. Guys, I owe them some shows, and we've had too much delay because of the Kouri Richins trial. We're going to get get locals back in the game and get chat going here. So let's get to this. Guys can join the promo code IceStorm. You get 1 month free access to the live shows. Katie says woohoo, and Almond Brown says ciao. Well, with that said, chat, we'll start the Afroman trial tomorrow night. And remember, until next time, chat, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. That means you. Yes, you. Good night, chat, and take care.
Weapons black. blacksmithing and models of planes, esoteric works and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy Rick Hayden yelled at? Why, yes it was.